Hey guys, Variety here. Welcome to today's video in which we're going to be doing 10 noob mistakes to avoid in Palia. So there are a lot of mistakes that you can make in Palia that could potentially set you back hours, if not days, if done incorrectly, such as, for example, focusing on your house before setting up your income. So today I'm going to show you 10 common mistakes that I personally made and I've seen other testers make throughout the closed beta to help you avoid these pitfalls that made the game really difficult sometimes because you used up valuable resources that you needed for later. So let's get into it. So before we do tip 1, I want to give you a bit of an honorary mention. So in Palia, you're going to be double clicking your keyboard to run. You want to go into your hotkeys and change that so you toggle. So you just hit the shift key once and every time you start moving, it'll auto run. Furthermore, you want to change your run keys so when you just click one button on your mouse, for example, it'll auto run. This will save you a lot of time and clicks on your keyboard throughout Palia. Also, you're going to want to change your keybinds. For example, you're not going to want to hold the R key and do this all the time, right? Very annoying. But if you keybind your tools, you can cycle through them really quickly. Okay, so now that hopefully you've done that to make your gaming experience much more enjoyable, let's talk about tip 1. So tip 1 is to do with teleportation. I've actually noticed some testers, say a couple days after they began testing, they were still unaware of this, which was quite surprising to me. So hopefully nobody else has this issue. But if you go up to these locations on the map, you can see them with the horseshoe looking symbols, and you click on them, they allow you to teleport. Not only do you teleport around the zone or into the next zone, you can teleport home, which is very helpful. But you're only going to want to use this option when you don't have this option here. So when you open up your map, you have return home. This recharges every 30 minutes, and when it's up, you can use it from anywhere in the game and it'll instantly teleport you home, saving you countless times. So make sure you use this on cooldown, and when it is on cooldown, use the go home button on the teleporters. So mistake 2 that I see some people doing is not using their renown properly. So there are a couple of things you can use renown on. You can use them at this statue up here, which is the Phoenix statue. You can use it on the dragon statue, or you can unlock bigger places of your house. I recommend pushing all of your points except a couple into the Phoenix statue, because what it does is it boosts your XP rate when you're doing action. So basically it makes you level up faster. Keep in mind, you're definitely going to want to put some focus in the dragon statue because it does give you max focus, which is important, but the percentage is more important. You may notice here that I only have 81%. That's because I've been putting my renown and other things like building for videos. But for you, you definitely should be getting your focus up pretty quickly. Okay, so one of the common mistakes I am seeing from people is many people are like, I've heard of a farming guide that has all apple trees or all tomatoes or all these really advanced stuff. I hate to break it to you, but you're not at advanced late game farming. So all of those guides, not very helpful for you at this point. You need to stick to something really basic. So for example, you need all carrots because it's really cheap in the store. Something like 20 per one, and then you can bring it out, put a seed hopper down pretty quickly after a couple levels, and just keep doing basic seeds like carrots or combinations of wheat and rice, and just sell the produce straight back to the store if you don't have any seed hoppers. Focus on quantity over quality early on because it's faster XP. Once the XP levels up a bit, you're able to unlock more plots and unlock other important stuff you need. I've actually seen a person tell me that they tried to put down tomato seeds, they bought it out of the store straight away, and they didn't have any levels, any seed hoppers, and they completely messed up their own economy. Okay, so the next thing that definitely caught a lot of people was silver bars. So when you smelt silver ore, which comes from copper nodes by the way, when you smelt it into a bar, it takes 2 hours with the better smelter. So with the original smelter, it's like 4 hours. So if you put this in the smelter, you lock up your smelter for 4 hours when you need it for other things. So early on, I wouldn't even bother smelting the ore into bars because it's going to take time you don't have. Furthermore, when you get the bar, it's going to make some comment about this could sell for a lot of money. It's true, it could, but don't sell your silver bars because it is actually used in stuff like good furniture. It's also used in items to help you farm gold and to do other things in the game. So please do not sell your silver and gold bars despite whatever the game feature may tell you on the description bar. Okay, so the next tip has to do about fishing. What I'm doing right now is a big no-no. What I'm doing wrong is that I'm fishing alone. If you fish with other people nearby, even if they're not in a party, just the fact that they're nearby and catching their own fish will give you a bit of an icon underneath your focus bar on the top left of your screen, and it'll stack up to 5. When it does, the fish will bite faster. I'm told that it's 10% speed bites for every single time. Some people also said that it gives you a higher chance at catching rare fish. I've been unable to confirm this, but even without the extra rarity chance, just the biting speed is extremely helpful when it comes to fishing. So make sure you fish alongside other people to get the buff. So this next mistake is actually kind of brutal. So it comes down to storage. You're able to place down 8 normal storage chests and 3 lockboxes. So the difference is that your normal storage, you can just place them anywhere you want, it doesn't matter, but they all link together, and this is your total storage. If you run out of storage, even though you have 8 chests, if you go to Tish's cash register, you can scroll all the way down and buy copper ones and put down 8 copper chests, which will increase your space by a lot. You're going to have quite a lot of storage. As long as you don't stack ore and wood that you don't need, you should be okay. Just a little bit of a freebie here, but this is the locker. So this is a chest where when you put items in, it'll never get taken out. So for example, if you put a fish in here and you try to cook, it'll never cook that fish. The tip is all of your furniture that you're making, as you can see in here I'm making, none of them have any storage weight. So you can stick all of your furniture in here rather than in your first chest, because imagine for a second, you put all of this in your main chest and you had to scroll down through this. Very annoying, right? So make sure you put them in there. So a mistake that I personally done and saw many other people do is running around and talking to NPCs consistently to give them their presents. It makes sense why you would do this. For example, you'd go up to the NPC, you would chat to them like this, and you would just answer whatever answer, and they will usually tell you down here what the villager wants for this week. The problem is that when you do this to all the villagers, this will take literally hours of your time. So it's really annoying. You can open up your gifting menu, it's true, and for example, let's say Kenlis, the guy who likes food, you could give him pickled potatoes and he'll take it because it's food and his NPC's kind of theme is about food, right? Or if the miner, you give him ore or bars. But instead of spending all this time and running around and talking to all these NPCs, and there's a lot of them, what you can do is look at a spreadsheet, which I'm going to put below the video. And this spreadsheet is a community spreadsheet where people are putting in the answers for that week for the best gift that the NPCs want. So if you open up your relationships here, for example, you see Ashura. He likes the grilled fish and the stripped sturgeon, but he loves the fish stew. So you're going to want to make sure that you focus on these ones so you get your reputation up much faster than you would running around and just talking to them all day like I did originally without knowing about the community spreadsheet. Okay, so the next mistake is Kenlis quest. So this may seem like a bit of a silly mistake, but trust me, almost everybody runs into this. So Kenlis is going to ask you to find his sandwich, and he's going to tell you it's near a waterfall, and most people don't find it. It's actually located right here underneath the Phoenix Falls. So when you get this quest, go over to here and you're going to find the sandwich in here. I know it sounds silly, but trust me, I just saved you a lot of time. Next up is glowworms. I'll be straight with you, this is a bit cheesy to say the least, but getting glowworms can be very difficult, and if you do it late, you won't have them to catch the rare fish or to get the recipes, and you will not only fall behind, but sometimes you get really unlucky and you could have to use more than 100 glowworms to find your recipe like I did. But there's a cute little trick. So what you want to do is you're going to pull out your fishing rod, which is located here. You're going to put on your worm and you're going to throw out your worm. Now, usually what's going to happen is you're looking for something, right? Let's say you're looking for a recipe, and a fish is going to bite, but what you do is you don't pull up. So when the fish bites right now, I'm going to see the fish come out of the water in a moment, and I'm going to see that that's not my recipe. That's not my fish. I let it go down. Now I pick up the rod. So you wait for the fish to go all the way down, then you pull your rod back, and because you didn't get a successful attempt, it doesn't take your glowworm. This way, it takes a little bit longer, but if you use this in conjunction with the boost biting for fishing that I mentioned earlier, you'll be able to do this pretty rapidly and effectively have unlimited glowing worms. I wouldn't necessarily always do this because you are, looking to level up your fishing. But when you're looking for specific recipes, I recommend doing this when you're on low glow worms to help you get your sushi recipe. And the final mistake for today's video is going to be not sharing resources. So when you hit a resource, see how it still has HP bar? If anybody else comes up and hits this tree, for every person who hits it, every single person gets the full loot. And when you pick up the loot, you get your XP. So every person who was involved gets the full loot and gets the full XP. So if you find like a rare tree or a rare ore around, you can work together to get it. So this here is a small glowing tree. You're going to see bigger versions of this located around the map. You're going to be required, unless you use a cheesy strat that I'm not going to show you, you're going to be required to have other players to chop these down with you. So it's kind of helpful and good manners overall to be like, hey, I found a flow tree and name where you are, and people will come up to you and help you chop it down. That way you can all get the resources together. This actually carries over to almost everything in the game. So for example, let's say somebody picks up a flower. If you go to that same flower within like 10 seconds, you also pick up the flower. If you see a rare mob getting shot at and you shoot at it once, you also get the full loot. So you can run around in a party or just follow somebody around and get the full resources for them, and they're not actually losing anything. So the mistake here is not sharing resources or being greedy and fearing other people are going to take the resources. If you're close behind them or in front of them, you don't lose anything. Okay, that's it for the 10 mistakes for today's video. I hope these help you avoid some of the mistakes that I've seen talked about in the channels and some of the mistakes that I've personally made throughout Palia. Thanks for watching, guys.